Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get it on. Mandate. Get it on. Bonus points for anybody who knows who I'm quoting here. Welcome to this video. It is that time of the week where I take my weekly beating on video from Chessexplained. So, my friend Christoph, international master, and I'm trying out the Blitzen software today. So you guys let me know if you prefer the Dasher or the Blitzen software as we go here. So we're playing a French defense, it looks like. This was one of the variations we played our first time round, and he won a long, nice positional game in this variation here. Am I supposed to play like Queen B6 here, or takes, and then Queen B6? I'm not sure. Maybe I don't really know the theory of this, so I'll just play Queen B6. And if he takes on D4, I think I'm supposed to play this check here now. Interesting. Okay, I'll take here on... Oh. He played B5. Is B4 really an idea here? I'm not sure. Oh, okay. I'll play Queen C7. I may have just been theoretically told what's up here. Not sure I played this right at all. So, I don't know. Let's see what happens. I guess he has to retake on D4 with a piece now. I don't know. Is there some crazy tactic here? I don't know. So, okay, we're playing a 10 minutes plus 10 second increment game, and I'm already well out of theory here. I'm not sure if I should spend a move, invest a tempo in A6 to stop any bishop B5 ideas. I'm not sure if that's worth the investment. I guess this B4 move does create... it stops me from playing bishop to C5. But it does leave a bit of a weakness for him on C3. If I take the knight now, he can retake with the queen or the bishop. Pawn takes is not possible because this B pawn is hanging with check. I'm not entirely sure what I should be doing here, but maybe I just play a waiting move, just develop a piece and see what happens. If he takes the knight, I guess I should retake with the pawn. I still have good coverage on C5. He can't drop a piece into C5 yet. Yeah, maybe I just castle here. And I can maybe even play for A6 and B5 and really try to target this weakness on... I should consider the capture now. Because he'd have to retake with the bishop. Bishop takes. It's probably fine. Is knight b5 really a threat? Knight b5, queen b1, or queen b8, just to stop the knight from coming into d6. I don't know. I'll just play this a6 move. Maybe it's not the best, but it stops any b5 ideas. Stops a knight from coming to b5. Maybe I can play b5 at some point and really lock down on this c pawn. That's an interesting positional idea, although it does give up the c5 square. But I have c5 covered nicely at the moment. A6, a3. Maybe he wants to be able to retake now with the pawn if I capture on d4. So what if I play b5 now? Where's the knight going? b5, is knight c5 really possible? Knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes. It's not possible. So I guess the knight goes back to b7. Or no, he can't go to b6. He can't go to b6. Yeah, maybe I can play this move. If the knight goes, maybe I can play knight at some point, knight b6 into c4, and I'm sort of highlighting this pawn as a weakness here on c3. Maybe I could even try to play knight to c4 immediately. The only problem for me maybe is he can play for a plan with a quick a4, and I pretty much have to take that. I don't see that I have really much choice at all. Yeah. I'll probably have to take the a-pawn if he plays for a4. Well, okay, so he hasn't castled yet. Maybe I could even throw in, I could have even thrown in bishop to h4 check just to provoke g3. Maybe g3 is something he wants to play anyway, I don't know. Yeah. Interesting decisions here. If I play, maybe now I can think about knight takes here. Yeah, knight takes, and then I think the best move would be bishop takes. I'm not really sure. So I'd like to get my knight from b6 into c5. c4, excuse me. If I do it now, he can just lop it off with his knight that's sitting there, and then takes, and then I'm not sure what I'm getting out of either recapture from my pawn. But maybe... Yeah, maybe he's going to play something with f5 as an idea. It might even be worth considering playing the move g6 to try to slow down f5. Although, if he plays f5 immediately, I think I can take on d4 and then take on f5 and get rid of my problem bishop. So in the variation now, if he plays f5, knight takes d4, something takes d4, pawn takes f5, bishop takes f5, bishop takes f5, rook takes f5. That would be pleasant for me. So I think he has two plans of attack here. playing for f5 and playing for a4. Both seem pretty good. And I still have this problem child bishop on c7, but I think I'd like to put it on d7 just to connect my rooks and complete development, and keeping an eye on this f5 square. So, okay, I'm managing to stay okay on the clock for now. I hope there aren't any discovery tactics here with this bishop. I don't think so. Should I really actually play... Maybe I could play knight here, takes with a tempo on the bishop, and then rook to d7? Just trying to get the d-file. Or at the very least pinning this knight on d4. It's probably nothing... It's probably nothing serious. I don't know, if I were him, I would be playing for a4. And if he does play a4, I think that forces me to reconsider where I put my bishop. Because if I put my bishop on d7, it'll no longer be protecting. Wow! Did not expect this move. Well, he's threatening mate in 1. So I sort of have to do something about that. g6 or h6? I guess g6. Yeah, with the tempo on the queen. And, okay, so his idea was to play queen to f5, or queen to f3. Maybe still preparing f5. It's not possible yet, but... he is protecting his bishop, he's keeping his queen, sort of eyeing the king side. So what should my plan be here? Knight c5. Knight c5, knight takes c5. D takes c5. That would give me the nice square. It's a nice square on d4. How to get a piece to it, though. And where to put this bishop now. Alright, I think I'm going to take this knight and put the bishop on b7. Opposite his queen. So if I put knight to d5, I can play knight to c5, and he can't take with the knight because of takes attacking the bishop with a discovery on the queen. This does somewhat weaken my control of f5. So it's possible that he could play for a plan involving g4 and f5. But maybe if he plays g4, I can just answer with f5. No, he takes en passant. Well, maybe it's still okay. g4, f5, en passant. Bishop takes e6, bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, rook takes f6. Maybe that's okay. I'm not totally sure. I think you can still play for this a5 plan personally. The point of this a4 plan is that I can't. He has too much pressure on. Well, maybe if he plays a4, I can just play here. Knight to c5, knight to c4, takes. My pawn is still protected. A file is okay. So, okay, I think my position here is probably, I would say, slightly worse. I think he's going to get some kingside initiative, and my bishop is bad. Wow, he played f5 immediately. Is it possible? It's a pawn sack, but what am I doing here? How am I meeting this pawn sack? G takes. Maybe his plan is after I capture either direction to play a quick G4. I really don't know which is the correct way to capture here. If I play here, does he want to play E6? Is his idea to play E6 to open the diagonal for the bishop, and maybe try to get enough time to get in on my dark squares? So if I take with the E pawn, I'm thinking E6. It's a double pawn sacrifice, but it would make this bishop very nice on the diagonal, and he can maybe play to get queen H3 to H6 in, but maybe I'm just in time with moving the rook out of the way and bishop F8. Or is there some other way for him to get on the diagonal? My queen's covering the E5 square. Well, I have to take one way or the other. I really don't think I can allow him to play F6. F6 would be a very deadly threat at this point. I'm going to take with the E pawn and try to live with my bishop coming to F8 and protecting the dark squares. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try. I can still maybe try to... Holy cow, he's sacking an entire bishop now. Jesus. Maybe I just don't take this bishop. I mean, the problem is if I take Queen G3 followed by E6, looks really dangerous. In fact, it's probably mating. Takes, Queen G3 check, King to G, King 8, King to H8, E6 mate. Yeah, I don't think I can take this bishop. So the problem for me here is if I take the bishop, queen check, and king h8 only move, and then check, that's e6 check, that's deadly. Wow. Yeah, that's tough. Maybe I have to... I'll try this move, bishop c8, to try to rid myself of this bad bishop. And if he retreats the bishop, then maybe bishop e6 is okay as a defense, because it blockades the dark square bishop here. It blockades the e5 pawn, which would block in the bishop. So I'm trying to defend this attack at the moment. How am I doing on time? Not bad. My time is okay. If I can hold off on the attack, I think I'll be okay. I have a weak pawn d5, but he has a similarly weak pawn on e5. So, yeah, he moved the bishop back, and now I think I'll put the bishop here on e6, just to blockade, like I said, this pawn. And now maybe I can think about knight to c4, and try to get a piece into an active position. The nice thing about this bishop is that even though it's passive, like I say, it blockades the e5 point, and also protects f7. He's got a lot of pressure on the f-file coming down f7. So the bishop looks pretty passive, and it is, but I'm hoping that it's providing me enough solid defense for now, and his bishop is also passive. So I think this plan on bringing the bishop back here was probably okay. I don't know what I'm going to do about if he decides to really go for it. Okay, knight to here is an interesting idea. Probably he wants to play knight to f4 to try to get rid of this bishop, which is defending for me. I think I'll just put my knight in here. I'm threatening this fork on d2. He probably has to guard that. I have pressure on the a pawn. Also keeping pressure on e5. So if the knight comes to f4, maybe I can take on e5. So that's nice. At least there's that. Kind of. Queen g3? I don't know. Knight f4 takes queen g3, pinning the knight and attacking it again. Bishop d6. Threatening. I don't know. Maybe it's working. Maybe not. So, okay, I think I'm putting up a good resistance here. Okay, so he's just stopping the fork. So now, how to make a move to improve my position. I'm thinking about maybe putting a piece on the C file. Maybe putting a piece on the C file. Or what about A5? Maybe I can play for A5 now. Try to get some active counterplay. He still can. I'm thinking he still can actually bring this knight into c4, and then maybe I have to give up this bishop. I don't know, but I'm going to try to get some active play going here. Try to get something going on the A file. Oh boy, he's really going to come in on the F file, huh? Well, if I grab now on B4, I think he has to take with the A pawn, or else a pawn hangs. Now knight F4. I think I have okay coverage. I'm just going to open this file right now and see if I can drum anything up. I'm not 100% sure I want my rooks to leave the connection with each other, because I'm concerned about a variation like knight F4, takes, pawn takes, and then queen takes here. Takes. Yeah, bishop takes. I don't know if I can really afford it. And I'm running low on time here. So I need to think of something. And how to meet F4. Knight F4. Can I play a move like G5? G5. That's a radical solution. I don't think it's really the best. Rook A here. Maybe I can play my rook here on the 7th. Try to exchange a rook on the A file or something. Maybe I can play for knight here. Knight to A3, putting pressure on the bishop. I still think on knight F4 I can probably play... Okay. Now he's putting me in a pin. He's putting my G-pawn in a pin. Is that a big deal? Okay, he wants to play knight F4 without me being able to play here, I think. I don't know. I'm running low on time, so I'm gonna try to trade some pieces. Just to lessen some pressure on my king side on the F file. Now I'll bring the knight back. Yep. As expected, knight F4. I'm going to try to avoid knight to h5 ideas because of the pin. I don't want him playing knight h5 and then f6. That would be very bad for me. So I'm going to get out of any potential pins. I may have missed some other threats, but that seems like the biggest threat at the moment. So I'm going to prioritize that one. Yeah, I mean, so I'm still a little passive here. But maybe his attack isn't as okay. What is this? Oh, okay, so he wants to play e6 after this piece sack, and then try to mate on... Yeah, if I take, he plays e6 check, but maybe I can play f6. I don't know. I'm running low on time. So I'll try this. I have no idea if this is working. Oh, the queen! The queen is hanging. Oh, that was a nice tactic. That was a real nice tactic. Yeah, I totally missed that my queen was unprotected. Okay. Alright. Well, I think I was doing okay for a little while there. That was just a really nice tactic. Oh, he's going over the position here. Yeah, maybe if I had just taken some time after queen g3. Yeah, okay, he's examining the game. I guess we're looking at it together here, but maybe if I had just taken some time with protecting my queen. I was thinking I had in the notion that my queen was unprotected along this diagonal, but yeah, I don't know. Hard to say where I went wrong there, but it was a good game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.